Hey guys, Mr. Neese going to talk to you today about SE 8E. So let me read it to you. Analyze major events of the Vietnam War, including the escalation of forces, the Tet Offensive, Vietnamization, and the fall of Saigon. So, man, there's movies on this whole thing, and they still don't cover the breadth of it. We could take a semester and just study this, but this SE, we're just doing a review over what we've already learned, and I'm going to kind of keep it quick and at a high level. So let's start with a little bit of Vietnam's history. So they were used to an occupying force, whether it was Japanese or French, and French being the last ones to leave before we moved in. But we were just another force moving in to occupy them. So they saw this as part of it. Took 500 years to get independence. It took 500 years. Our perspective coming in was it wasn't going to take that long. But French, they move out in the 50s. President Eisenhower, being very concerned, talked about this with other tutorials and in class about the domino theory, the spread of communism, the domino effect of one domino knocking over another, one country falling and then another country falling to communism. That concern led Eisenhower to try to fill the void left by the French pulling out. So as the French pull out, Eisenhower starts sticking some advisors in, okay? So those advisors are to help the southern Vietnamese against the north, because we got a north and south thing going here. Now with that, we get Kennedy becoming president, and he escalates it a little bit, sends a few more. Now, when Kennedy gets assassinated, President Johnson, Lyndon Baines Johnson, becomes president, and he's left in a position here where we either need to commit a lot more or we need to pull out. And something that helps his cause is the Gulf of Tonkin resolution. So, Gulf of Tonkin resolution, what happened? Well, we have a U.S. destroyer called the Maddox, and it is fired upon. Now, the details I don't really have right at the moment, say how legit it was or how unlegit it was, but while in the Gulf of Tonkin, one of our destroyers was fired upon. Johnson goes to Congress and asks for a resolution, which is the Gulf of Tonkin resolution, giving him permission to do whatever he needs to do to take care of what he needs to take care of. It's basically a blank check to fight a war without declaring a war. So that's kind of what the Gulf of Tonkin resolution is. He gets the permission from Congress to escalate and do what he needs to. Now the troops are going to be increased in this area, and we're going to do some serious fighting. Now, those forces will escalate from 64 to 68 tremendously. That's 4 years right there. Now, remember, talk back into 1956, I think is when we first started sending advisors. Now, 64 to 68, we're getting really serious. 1968, we get the Tet Offensive. The Tet Offensive is the North Vietnamese, which is the communist, and the Viet Cong, which are communist sympathizers that are in the South. They attack several different locations across South Vietnam, injuring and killing a lot of South Vietnamese and Americans. And now, technically, it may not have been a win for them as far as a strategic battle or battles, but it showed us their resolution that they weren't done. They're in this for the long haul. And that was a very big turning point as far as a moral victory. It went to them. And for us, it was maybe this isn't a quick fix. Maybe we just need to start working our way out. So with that, we get another president involved, and this is Nixon, and he's going to do what's called the Vietnamization, which is basically trying to pull the U.S. out and place Southern Vietnamese in positions to fill those gaps. Okay, so it's taking the Americans out, and now your Southern Vietnam, your people, you're going to have to fill those gaps. This is the Vietnamization of the war. We're getting out. okay? We're going to leave it up to you. But eventually we're going to get the fall of Saigon. That is in April 30th, 1975. That is us completely pulling out, backing out. There were some peace deals that were working out, but it was hard for both sides to really follow it. We're backing out. We're trying to pull out as many sympathizers, Vietnamese that had helped us bring with us. There's some very interesting videos. You will see us landing helicopters on carriers and then pushing them off into the water, and then another one will land and unload it and then pushing it off into the water because we're getting out in a hurry. So the fall of Saigon, 1975, kind of brings the end to this of the major events, at least. Not that there wouldn't be some ongoing issues after that. So hopefully that helps you with this SE about the significant events of Vietnam.